Hello and welcome to Wait for Real.
A true crime and paranormal podcast. I'm Grace.
And I'm Katie.
And welcome back, guys.
We're already having technical
Oh,
difficulties.
way too many
We
technical
haven't
difficulties.
we've barely started doing anything.
Usually before we record, we'll regroup on our week,
Yeah.
over this because it's a nice camera setting.
Yep.
Um and twice it kicked us out saying that we had unstable connections or like there was troubleshooting issues. Oh god, my
Yeah.
cat's thinking about choosing violence.
So early,
Um
Peaches.
I know. So anyways, we got cut out twice, and I was like, okay, let's restart it and let's record as fast as we can. And that let's just go and see how long it
Yeah.
takes. So if for some reason everything messes up and it fails, you'll probably see that in our editing. But here we
Yep.
are.
It's okay. We're gonna do our best. And luckily won't be a super long episode, so
Jesus Christ, the cat's
let's
back.
she's choosing violence. Is she up there?
Yeah,
I hear her. Oh, I
you
see her
can't.
stomping
She wants to
around.
drink coffee.
Oh. No coffee for kitties.
Did you see Beth tagged us in her story yesterday?
No,
You're
what
gonna
was
look.
it?
Shout out to Beth,
Oh,
one of
should
our
I look?
listeners and my bestie. Yeah, because it was like the scene where I turned my camera down just so you could look at Peaches talking to you.
Is it still up?
Yeah, it should be on her
Probably.
story.
Okay.
Peach a Weech. Oh god. Oh god. Oh no. I'm scared. Ow, claws. You have claws, Peaches. You have claws.
Peaches.
Also, I'm wearing my Edward Cullen shirt. Little
I love that.
snack.
I'm wearing the shirt we got at the I was like, can you see me? At the Bigfoot conference.
Yes.
Yeah.
Love that shirt. All right, now Peaches is sitting on my lap, so please pray for me.
Yep. Could be interrupted by the cat.
Her
That's
little
okay.
ear.
I know.
Where's Archie?
He is under the blanket in the bedroom.
Oh, that's his favorite spot to hang out.
I know, it's weird. He never used to do that before I moved up here.
Yes, he did. He would hang out the blanket underneath on the couch.
But not on the bed, though,
Oh,
specifically.
oh.
Yeah.
It's his space.
Yeah. That's his chosen spot.
So,
Safest, farthest away from the door. I get it.
and from you. No.
Yeah. I'm like, fair. He's like, I've had enough of your shit.
Respect. All right, sorry. Okay, let's get into this episode. What are we doing?
We're just going to dive right in. I asked Grace to pick a number 1 through 10 this morning because I was between two episodes, and on one end of the numbers was one episode, on the other was the other episode. So you unknowingly chose this episode.
Uh-oh. Okay.
Okay, so on March 18th, 1990, it is a normal ish night in Boston. St. Patrick's Day celebrations are happening. And this is at the not the celebrations, but this story starts at the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum in Boston.
Okay.
There are two guards on duty that night. One of them is named Richard Abbott. I couldn't find the name of the other security guard.
Okay.
But Richard Abbott is a music school dropout and part of a rock band. And he just kind of does this for like funsies,
Love
which is
it.
very, very 1980s of him. So at 12:54 a.m., a fire alarm goes off on the third floor of the museum. When Abbott went to investigate, there is no fire. Now, at 1:24 a.m., two Boston police officers buzz the security desk where Abbott is stationed, and they say that they're responding to a disturbance call. And
From
they
within the museum?
just like in and around. So they're like, we need to just talk to you. So remember, there's like a lot happening in the streets. There's the St. Patrick's Day parties, whatever.
I hate that.
So the disturbance call doesn't seem weird. So he lets them in, which is a violation, by the way. He's not supposed to let anybody in. And he lets
Even
them in
though
the
knows that?
employee entrance.
Oh boy.
When they approach the desk, they say that he looks familiar and they think they have a default warrant out for his arrest. And they're like, you need to come with us, like, come talk to us. And they pull him away from the desk, which is the only place that you can trigger a silent alarm.
Oh, this is okay.
So they instruct him to face the wall. They handcuffed him. The second guard kind of like comes around and is like, what's going on? They arrest the second guard as well. They put him in handcuffs. And the second guard asks why why am I being arrested? To one of the men responds, you're not being arrested. This is a robbery. Don't give us a problem or you
Ah,
won't get hurt. So
that's such a good way to rob somewhere.
yeah, so they are basically tied up in the basement and handcuffed in the basement. In an hour, it takes the thieves an hour and 21 minutes to steal 13 works of art. These are the 13 works that they steal.
Okay.
Christ and the Storm on the Sea of Galilee. This is a Rembrandt. A Lady and Gentleman in Black, also a Rembrandt. Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man by Rembrandt. The Concert by Vermeer. Landscape with an Obelisk by, I'm going to do my best, Gauvier Flinick. Chez Tortoni by Manet. Leaving the
Like
Paddock
Monet?
by Monet,
Monet.
Manea, not Monet,
Okay.
but it's he's also a very famous artist. Leaving the Paddock by Degas. Procession on a Road Near Florence by Degas. Three Mounted Jockeys by Degas. Study for the Program by Degas. And then a gilded bronze eagle finial, which is something that sits kind of on the top or on the end of a curtain rod. It was part of
Yeah.
the Napoleon exhibit, or it was part of the Napoleon flag.
Okay.
And then a Chinese vase.
Damn.
Yep.
They knew what they were
Now,
going for.
yes, they also had tried to steal another Rembrandt, but it was too hard to dismount. And the museum, even at this time, has like motion sensors. So they're
Yeah.
going off in each room. And they're basically grouped in two main rooms and then one third room. So they're cutting the paintings out of the frames. The frames are left behind.
Wow.
Yep. The guards remain handcuffed until somewhere a little bit before 8 a.m. The morning shift security guards come to relieve them, but they're unable to get into the building. So they call police basically, and when they get in there, they find them handcuffed in the basement. And they explain what happened. And even though they wore gloves when they were doing the robbery, they didn't have any face covering. So the security guards give a description of them for some sketches.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, there's not a ton of leads that happen. So until about 4 years later, so in April of 1994, the museum director, Anne Hawley, uh, receives an anonymous letter from someone who claims to be attempting to negotiate the return of the art. It says, I want to point out that I had no part in the theft and really only became aware of it in the past 6 months. Further, I do not know the identity of the two men who did the actual robbery. I am dealing with a third party. All parties do want a resolution to everyone's satisfaction. You get the collection, and they get money and immunity from prosecution.
Oh, wow. That's quite the
Yeah.
deal.
The plan he offered was reasonable enough that the art gallery was like, we'll take it. And at this point, the FBI is also involved. So
Well, yeah.
they claimed that they could facilitate its return if paid $2.6 million dollars, and most importantly, received adequate assurance that there was no risk of arrest while negotiations take place. I will make no contact that could be traced. I fear an overzealous federal agent will try to grab some headlines too soon. Anne Hawley turned over the letters to the FBI's Boston office, and federal agent Richard Swinson, the special agent in charge of the office, agreed to the writer's demands,
Okay.
and agreed to order his agents on the case to stand down while the negotiations take place. He also approached the Boston Globe to seek its cooperation in the efforts. And this is because for the negotiation to take place, the letter writer had proposed a novel idea to be assured that the museum and the FBI were willing to proceed in good faith. The writer asked, oh my God,
What?
my TV just turned on and started like playing. Hold on, let me turn it off. Started playing like, if you have a Fire Stick, it starts playing like the. I was like, what is that sound? Okay.
Jesus
Um.
Christ.
Anyways,
This is
so
haunted. Love that for you.
yeah, amazing. For negotiations to play, the FBI were willing to proceed. The writer had asked that the numeral one be inserted in the currency box in the Sunday edition of the Boston Globe. This is a quote from the letter. For example, this week the lira in American dollars is 0.00618. The letter writer noted, using that as a base for the following formula must be used to indicate your interest. So if you're not interested, then put 0.00618, and if you agree, then it's $1.00618.
What?
Yeah, the Globe editor Matthew V. Storin said he agreed to cooperate after being approached by Swinson. I saw
Okay.
it as a community service decision. Uh,
It's also like
and
sneaky as hell. I like it.
Yeah, he cleared this with William O. Taylor, which is the Globe's publisher at the time, and made it clear to Swenson that he expected the paper to get the first word if the overture led to the
Oh
art's
yeah, like they
return,
want the
right?
story.
Yeah, hell yeah. But Soren was concerned that adding the numeral to the actual value of the Italian lira could have unforeseen consequences, so he decided to place the one in the middle of the row, and it ran, and I'll send you the picture so you can include it
Yeah.
in the Instagram. And it ran that way in the Sunday Globe on May 1st, 1994. It takes only a short time to know that the anonymous letter writer had seen the paper. The following week, Anne Hawley received a second letter, and the writer was encouraged to see that the museum was interested in negotiating an exchange, but was alarmed by what they said was an aggressive reaction by investigators after the museum received the first letter. The concern was that the museum and authorities, they were interested in recovering the painting, or are they interested in a low-level intermediary? Asked the second letter, quote saying, "You cannot have both." Basically, like, you can have the artwork or you can try to trace me.
Right. Okay.
Right now, I need time both to think and start the process to ensure confidentiality of the exchange. If the anonymous writer decided it was impossible to continue negotiating, they wrote, they would provide the museum with some clues to the artwork's whereabouts. However, the museum never hears from the letter writer again. So after
Shit.
the second letter, it's never, yeah, they never reach back out.
Are you
And in an
serious?
Yeah, so in an interview at the time, Swinson was adamant that he had ordered the investigators to stand down while the negotiations took place, and one agent assigned to the case at the time confirmed that he had been directed by superiors not to investigate dealings with the letter writer, but said other investigators had continued to pursue leads in the case.
Which means that probably the guy was like, "Fuck you," and yeah.
Yeah.
What? Do you know how much
Yeah.
it's worth? The artwork was worth.
Yeah, we'll discuss that at the end.
Oh, okay.
So now let's talk a little bit about theories. First, I'm going to go into retired FBI agent Robert Kelly. His theory is that it's Carmelo Merlino, who was a mob associate who ran a repair shop in Dorchester,
Okay.
likely
Okay.
sent a man by the name of George Reisfelder, who was a petty theft, and Leonard DeMuzio, who had been implicated in several invasions into the museum to steal the paintings. Well, the guard who let the thieves into the museum, Rick Abbott, maintained that he had nothing to do with the heist until he died last year in 2024. The retired FBI agent thinks that he was involved.
Okay.
Now, Reisfelder, so the first guy, George Reisfelder's relatives reportedly told authorities a painting of a man in a top hat, similar to the stolen Chez Tertoni, was on the wall in the man's apartment after the heist. The artwork was gone by the time the 51-year-old was found dead of an intravenous overdose in March of 1991,
Ooh.
in what the newspapers said that he considered a suspicious death. 2 weeks later, the other person that they think went into as the heist was DeMuzio, disappeared, and his body was found in June 1991 in the trunk of a car in East Boston.
This is
Uh,
incredible.
Kelly tells newspapers that he believes the two men were killed for the paintings or to keep quiet. Now, Merlino, who is the mob associate, right,
Yes. Yeah.
uh, was arrested in 1991 as part of a sting operation and convicted on charges of attempting to rob an armored car depot. And he died in
Damn.
prison in 2005.
Okay.
Now, according to the Globe, two other mob associates, James Marks and Robert Donati, were linked to the heist over the years, and both men met untimely deaths. Marks was shot to death outside of his home in 1991, and Donati was stabbed outside of his own residence later that same year. Now, the former
Jesus.
FBI agent told the newspapers that all the deaths within 18 months of the heist had a chilling effect on the investigation.
Yeah.
According to the Globe, investigators believe some of the artwork ended up first with another man with mob ties, which is Robert Guarente,
Okay.
and then Connecticut mobster Robert the Cook Gentile.
Oh my god, can you imagine having the nickname the Cook?
Yeah, no, I don't even
Holy
want to know.
shit.
Yeah.
Like Grace the Cook Waldfogel.
Yes. Scary. So, a search of Gentile's home in 2013 resulted in his conviction for illegally selling prescription drugs and possessing guns, silencers, and ammunition. And the search also turned up a handwritten list of stolen Gardner paintings and their estimated worth, along with a newspaper article about the museum heist a day after it happened.
Oh shit.
Gentile, who died in 2021, denied ever having anything to do with the paintings. But Kelly tells the Globe that over the years, investigators have pursued leads across the country and overseas, but he noted stolen artwork is usually not found until generations have passed.
Which I did know that. I feel like I've heard that somewhere before. It might have been
Yes.
like in like a movie or like National Treasure or something.
I think we've discussed artwork that's been recovered before, famously. Now let's talk a little bit about other people that came up in the investigation who they don't really think it is anymore.
Okay.
Starting off strong with James Whitey Bulger, another famous crime boss, was an early suspect in the heist. He is an Irish mobster, for those of you who don't know, and he was
Damn.
involved in the Irish Republican Army. The IRA had been implicated in a number of art thefts to finance their efforts in
Life.
Northern Ireland. Yeah. And one theory speculated that he used his ties with the Boston police to pull off the daring heist to help the IRA. However, there's no clear ties between Whitey Bulger and the theft.
Right.
Um, and he had an alibi for the night of. I mean, that doesn't mean much, but you know what I mean.
It's like I was hanging out with my mom. I'm like, Mom, tell him I was hanging out with
Yes.
you.
Yes. So I did want to touch a little bit on the security guard again, Rick Abbott. One thing that's interesting about this is that most of the artwork was stolen from either the Dutch Room and the Short Gallery. So one had the Rembrandt paintings and one had the Degas paintings. Hello, Peachy
Okay.
Weech. She's coming
Peaches. Oh
for
god. Oh
oh,
no.
she's gonna take us out, guys.
All right, she got off my leg. I can breathe.
Okay.
Now she's perched on the
Okay.
table.
Now, Monet's Chez Tortoni was the sole painting that was taken from the Blue Room on the first floor. The
Interesting.
museum's motion detectors did not show the thieves entering that room during the robbery, and the last movement detected in the Blue Room was Abbott making his rounds. No clear evidence implicated him, but there was enough questions that it may be an inside job.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
The final one is conman Brian McDivitt. He was a conman and a screenwriter, and he was suspected of the heist because of his involvement in similar crimes. In 1981, he made a failed attempt at robbing the Hyde collection of a Rembrandt while dressed as a FedEx driver. And the parallels were enough to flag the FBI, but McDivitt denies his involvement, and he's
Okay.
never truly linked to it.
Okay.
The heist itself, obviously, it's never been solved. The paintings altogether are worth over $500 million, and there is a $10 million reward. In 2005, the state attorney and the FBI basically came out and said, we won't prosecute anybody who returns the painting. They can't prosecute anymore. It's been too
Why?
long.
Oh.
So yeah, so nobody will be prosecuted. They just want the paintings back.
Can you imagine, like, oh god, she's choosing violence. I'm sorry. Okay.
It's okay.
Um, when I say she, guys, I mean my cat Peaches. If you're not watching the video,
Yes.
so okay, wait, thoughts. I got stressed
It's
out about the
okay.
cat. I forgot what I was
You're doing
doing.
great.
Um, oh no, she's fighting her tail. We can't win today, my dude. We can't.
I can't.
Um, can you imagine like you like one day are like cleaning out your parents' house and you like find the paintings?
That's what someone had said in one of the articles. Like, someone's going to be cleaning out an attic somewhere, and they're going to stumble upon the paintings. I mean, it's very possible that the paintings are in someone's house, like
Oh,
because
100%.
they very likely were sold. And I was watching someone else talk about it, and they're like, what do you even do with that? There's such a huge market for paintings like that
Which is wild.
without
Like, I don't
being
understand the art
sold.
market. I really don't. Like, I respect it. I really do.
Right.
But, like, I don't know, man. Because, like, also, like, when you buy, I guess, like, the people buying that artwork at this point know that it's stolen, right? I mean, you would know because you're like, you Google it, and you're like, this piece of art was stolen 10 years ago or 20 years ago.
But the people that are buying this are usually really rich and like that's why they want it, right? Because it's
It's
one
like,
in the world, right? And
yeah.
so in a very long time ago, the Mona Lisa was stolen. It was a really big deal. Even like to this day, there's a theory that the Mona Lisa that hangs in the Louvre is not the actual Mona Lisa.
Let me tell you, that Mona Lisa is stupid. I mean, it's like I respect it, but it's small,
Yeah.
and you have to be like 50 million feet away, and it has like 7 layers of glass on it. And you're like, okay, cool, art.
But that's why there's 7 layers of glass on it because it
Yeah.
was stolen before.
They're
Because
like, this
they,
motherfucker, we know.
they were like, no.
And like the activists that
Um,
like throw paint on the artwork and
yeah,
stuff,
that's why too.
that's pretty messed up, I will
So
say.
I do want to do an episode of covering this because I just think it's fascinating. But the point is that it eventually comes back because someone tries to sell it in a store, and the luckily the people that were running the store were like, we know this painting.
You know what'd be
So
funny is like, like I sell it to like I'm saying like hypothetical friends,
yeah,
hypothetical is like someone steals this beautiful piece of art, and it's like a Picasso or something, and then they sell it
hmm
for like $20 to somebody,
yeah,
and then
that
like
that
that
would be
person that owns
crazy.
it, and then you're just like, no, I only paid $20 for this. There's no way it's real, and then
Yes,
like plot twist, it's real.
yeah,
Did I just write a movie?
you
Yeah.
did. I mean, I hope that these pieces are recovered. If you go to
So
the
none of
museum
them have
now,
ever been recovered.
no. And in the museum, all the frames still hang. So the empty frames hang in the museum.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. No, it looks really cool when you see pictures of it.
So whatever happened to the security guard? Did he get fired? I'm assuming.
I have no idea.
Oh, because obviously he sort of fucked up because he let them in.
So, well, and this isn't the first, that was not the first time that he had done that. We're letting people in that he wasn't supposed to because apparently there was a New Year's Eve party and he let some friends in. And he was also like, he admitted that he was like drunk or high most of the time when he came into work. He's just like, and they were both very inexperienced security guards. You know, like this is not
Yeah,
like high tech.
they don't have
This
guns. I'm
was,
assuming.
I don't know. I mean, like today, I think they might, but no, I
I don't
would
know.
assume not in
It's
the 80s.
wild to see like security guards for like bars and stuff today will have like full freaking bulletproof vests, several handguns, tasers. I'm like, are we all police officers now? Like, what is
Yeah,
happening?
but if you think about what happens across the US,
Oh yeah, 100%. Like,
they got to.
I can't. Oof. It's crazy out there.
Yeah. So
Crazy.
this
I can't
is
believe
like the
there's no
world's,
art.
no,
I
they've
like
never
none of it's
recovered
been
any of
found.
it. No. Nope.
Is this like type of art that I'm gonna be like, oh, that's a painting? Like,
No, no, no. You'll, some of it is just amazing. I mean, Rembrandt's work is great.
can you show me them?
Yeah.
Who did Starry Night?
Van Gogh.
Okay, he did. Is he the one that cut his ear off, or am I thinking? I'm confusing all of the people.
Stop asking me questions.
Yeah, somebody cut his ear off.
I'm pretty
That
sure that was Picasso.
I thought
Now
that
I have
was
to look it
the.
up.
I was like, don't make suggestions if we're wrong. I'm looking it up
Good
too.
God, it's Van Gogh.
I'm leaving this in because it's hilarious to me.
That's fine. Okay. Yep, it was Van Gogh. I'm dead. Okay.
I have
Focus. I'm trying to pull up the paintings that were
sorry,
stolen.
sorry, because I have other art questions I
Don't
want to
ask
ask
me art
you, but I'm not
questions.
allowed. I know.
She's banned.
This is like, guys, like literally, was it last week or 2 weeks ago that we had to like edit out a section because we sounded so stupid?
So stupid. It was last week. I was
Oh
like, as I
god.
was listening back, I was like, we can't do this. This is too much. We got to shut the fuck up. That's
Especially
what we
because
have
it's
to
like we
do.
both say something and then we both just get quiet. And we're like, maybe that's not it.
I was like, this is not actually, this is my worst moment. Thank you.
Like, actually, need to cease to exist. Thank you.
Okay, hold on. Let me go back to the
Alright.
beginning of these. Okay. Is this just going to go around in a circle? And I'm actually just. Yep. Okay. So we'll start with this is one of the Degas leaving the paddock.
Okay, yeah, no, I have no idea. I've never seen that.
This is the landscape with an obelisk.
Landscape. What's an obelisk?
It's like that little tower thing.
Oh. Yeah, that just looks like a dark painting to me.
Yeah. I was like, it's this is the Chez Tortoni by Monet. So this is the one that was hanging in that guy's apartment. The man with the top hat.
That's creepy as hell. I don't want that in my house.
A lot of
Just like
these
I
are
don't want the boy
creepy.
in blue in my house.
The Vermeer. This is concert. The concert.
Here's my thing. It's like my toxic trait is thinking I could paint that. We know how that
Hmm.
goes. We know.
Yeah. Okay.
I painted before and it was so embarrassing I had to burn it all. But I literally. This is a quick story time, guys, because I'm a mess. Wait, go ahead. Let me see.
This is Christ in the Storm on the Sea of Galilee.
Oh yeah, like I couldn't paint that. Like that's
Okay,
pretty.
good.
Yeah.
I was like, you gotta.
No, so I went through a phase in my last apartment where I was like, I'm gonna paint art for my house. Like I shouldn't have
Love
to buy
that.
stuff from Home Goods or Wayfair or whatever. I'm gonna paint my own.
Yeah.
I bought all the supplies, spent a ton of money on stupid canvases and the paint and the brushes. I took one afternoon to start painting. It was so humbling that
Oh
I literally
no.
like immediately put everything in a box and I put it in my closet and I
I
was
feel like
like,
I'm never doing
nobody
this
can see
again.
this. Nobody. And then when I went to move, my friends were helping me move, and my one friend
Oh
opened the closet and
no.
I literally was like, no, don't open the closet. And they like
Don't look
obviously
in
think
there.
they think I have something like inappropriate in there. And I'm like, no, it's
Yeah.
just my fucking art failures. And she looked at
You're
them and
like,
she was like, oh, okay. And I was like, I'm too embarrassed, dude. I was like, just burn them, throw them away, put them out the window. I don't care.
you're like, I wish it was something
And
inappropriate.
that's where my art career ended.
No, it's okay.
So I guess Van Gogh, Picasso, all these motherfuckers have a little bit on me, but still.
Yeah, apparently I don't know the difference. Embarrassing. Who cut off a ear? Van Gogh. We gotta know.
I want to. Who's the? No, I'm not going to ask you
No,
because
it's
you're going to get
okay. You
mad.
can ask. You
Who's the
can
guy
ask.
that painted the ceilings of stuff, the cathedrals and shit?
That was Michelangelo. That one I'm
Ah,
positive.
okay.
Like the Sistine Chapel and stuff
That
like
was a
that.
long time ago, though, right?
Yeah.
Because Picasso was like sort of recent. Like Picasso died
Yeah, I
in
think the 70s.
1973.
Yeah.
I've also never seen a
Let's
picture
see.
of him till right now, and
Yeah,
I'm
me either.
bamboozled.
Okay, good. It was Michelangelo, and he painted it between 1508 and 1512. So, yep.
Well, a couple years earlier.
Yeah. Yeah, this is wild. We could start an art podcast where we just guess what the story is.
I can picture now like a review of our podcast, and it's like these entitled bitches think that they can talk about art when art's like literally like transcends everything. I'm like, like that looks
I
like a
know.
tree in the forest.
We'll do this. We'll do the Mona Lisa, and then it'll give us a chance to redeem ourselves for this embarrassing
Really?
moment.
Another section that we're probably cutting out of the episode just happened, and I'm
It's
embarrassed,
okay.
guys.
It's okay. It's okay.
We need to
We'll get
stop
it
while we're
together for our
ahead.
next art episode. Yeah, but we're
This
only
is
30 minutes in. This episode's gonna be like 20 minutes at this point. We need to cut 10 minutes of us talking about nonsense that we don't know.
You know what? We gave it a good try. Okay.
Yeah, we did.
So I did want to bring up. I'm okay. That's very clever of the robbers to be
That
like,
is
"Where to Popo?"
so, yeah, but even now that would never fly. I mean,
No,
think about even back then, serial killers and stuff would use disguises like that, or electricians, or plumbers, or FedEx drivers
like
to
how would
gain
okay?
entry.
So now we're gonna do hypotheticals, guys.
Yeah.
Alleged, hypothetical, whatever. Trademark. This is not true. But if I were to rob a museum, I'm trying to think how I'd go about it because I feel like that's a really easy way in. like if I have enough like proper falsified documentation to show that I'm a police officer or I'm a like
You
an
can't
art
get away with it now.
you don't know.
The cameras, the facial recognition, the lasers, the everything that's in there,
Yeah.
even just an alarm for a painting, right? So if you reach your hand to touch a really expensive painting, it's gonna trigger an alarm. That's gonna get the actual police involved. There's a
They
lot
like
more to
show
it
up
than
and
that.
it's like
This
the
is not the
Spider-Man
80s.
meme. It's like this we're
Yes,
like
yes. Yeah,
because it's like as I go to steal it, the alarm goes off and I like back up and I'm like, oh my god, who is stealing this?
yeah. You'd have to do it like during a planned outage.
Yeah, which I feel like they probably don't have planned outages really. Like they always have
They
like
probably do
backups.
for security stuff, but they probably have like a much higher staff. You'd have to infiltrate slowly, and that way you'd be a familiar face.
Is it National Treasure where they like sneak
Steal the
in and steal
Declaration
shit?
of
Well, not just the
Independence.
Declaration, right? Or is that the one where they like
Stop
go?
asking me questions
There's
today.
another movie where they are stealing art. I don't know. Anyways, I feel like I've seen it, but
Is
now
it
I'm
one
on.
of the Oceans movies
Yeah, that's it.
or something?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. Now I'm in the mood to watch them and be like, let me take notes.
Some heist movies,
Then
yeah.
again, though,
This
I'm
is
like, I don't want any of that art. I don't
they're
want it.
not keeping it. They're
Well,
selling it. The point is to make money. They're not like,
well,
I
for me,
really
I'm
need this
like,
for my
eh.
house.
I'm
Yeah.
like, do artwork at the house.
The artwork was worth $500 million.
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
It is.
I could buy so much ice cream with that money.
And it's probably worth way more when you're selling it on the black market.
Yeah. I don't know. I just don't think I would do well as somebody that owns like stolen art. Like, there's people that are just so rich that they think it's like cool to have it.
I'd be too
I would
anxious.
be, I wouldn't even be too anxious. I would just fucking tell everybody. I'd be like, look how great
Oh,
my art
that's
piece
so
is.
true. You're like, this was stolen in 1990 in the Great Gardner art heist. And now it
Right?
hangs in my living room.
Like, I would feel so fucking cool and then immediately get in
Yeah.
trouble. Like,
But also, we don't know enough about art. Like, how do you know that you're getting the actual thing and not a really good forgery?
ugh. Listen, again, as I have so much knowledge on this from the stealing of the Declaration of Independence, there's a lot of
Which,
stuff that is involved there.
yeah. And art forgery is like such a huge thing.
Oh yeah.
And the art forgers that do it are so good. I mean, they study years and years and years. That was the whole thing with the Mona Lisa. That's why, I mean, the Louvre and everybody's like, it is the actual Mona Lisa. But,
Yeah.
the idea was that there was an art forger who was,
Yeah.
once they had gotten the original.
Fun fact, I got kicked out of the Louvre when I was there. Not for
That
stealing
doesn't
anything,
surprise
but
me.
for falling asleep.
You fell asleep? No wonder you don't remember
Yeah.
the
No,
artist
first of
names.
all, the art was pretty. I was like, ooh, ah, art. But I would, okay, so this is when I studied abroad in college and I took an art class. Oh, God, I forgot to even say that. I took an art class and I was terrible at it. I failed it. So I literally had to like get it expunged from my record from school. So we were at the Louvre and I was exhausted because we were only in Paris for like 48 hours and I was so tired.
Hmm.
And it's like exhausting because you're also like, I was like, what, 19, 20? So I was like
Yeah.
able to drink. So I was like partying like I couldn't fucking believe.
Yeah.
So we had to go to the Louvre and walk through and like look at certain paintings and talk about the impressions and the paint strokes and blah, 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 blah. And so I was over it. And the
Hmm.
Louvre is freaking ginormous. So I found like a little corner where they had like booths for people to
Hmm.
like sit and discuss art. I don't know, but you can't nap in them. But I took a nap and I got escorted off the property for napping inside.
Hmm. They're like, ma'am, it's time for you to leave.
They're really like, oh, here comes an American to fucking steal our AC. Like,
Yep. Yeah,
100% sure.
literally.
Oh, yeah, I was the
Yeah.
problem. 100%.
Are you allowed back, or was this just like a
Oh, yeah,
one-time
I think they were
escalation
just like,
off?
get out. Like,
Yeah, they're like, what are you
like, girl,
doing?
you're hungover. And I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
probably. Yeah, not my best moment. That art class was
It's okay.
also not my best moment. I should not talk about art ever. This is a one and done for Grace.
That's great. I
Yes.
love that. I love art, but apparently I don't know anything, is what Grace and I have learned this episode.
You know
It's
way
like
more than
when
me.
it's like when you're put on the spot for something, or like someone's like, "What are your hobbies?" And I'm always like, "I've never had a hobby a day in my life."
Literally, I'm always like, I don't, is sleeping a hobby?
I'm like, I actually don't do anything. I think I just go to work and I
Lay
go
on my
home.
couch? Like, what
Yeah, I
else do
watch a lot of
people do?
TV. Does that count as a
Yeah.
hobby?
Yeah,
Um,
I'm on season 11 of Below Deck. Is that a hobby? Like,
yes.
should
That's
be.
what we should do an episode on Below, just a Below Deck recap of
I
the
literally
entire
feel like I am
series.
part of the yachty community.
I feel like you could definitely do that job. You'd be great at it.
God, no, I'd be throwing up all the time. I'd be
Oh,
seasick all the
just
time.
wait and oh, true. Oh,
Yeah.
true. You do get really bad seasickness. Just wait until we talk about yachts in the next episode I'm going to cover. That was the other option. Yacht or
Damn
art.
it.
So sorry.
It's okay. Oh shoot. Okay, now we'll end this while I could just keep talking for 2 days. So
We used to have way more banter in our episodes. I don't know what happened to us.
I mean, I think it's because we just were like, let's get to it. And also,
Yeah.
I feel like half the time, half the shit I say is stupid as hell.
No, it's entertaining. That's entertainment. That's showbiz, baby.
Showbiz, baby. Jesus Christ. All
All
right,
right,
if you
we'll
made
wrap
it
it
this
up.
far, thank you so much for listening. I'm so sorry.
I'm not.
Um, if you want to leave us a review, you can do a couple things. Apple Podcasts, you can write a review for us. On Spotify, you can give us some stars. If you have any stories that you want to tell us or you want to school us on our art knowledge, you can do so a couple of ways. You can send us an email, which is waitforrealpod@gmail.com, or you can follow us on social media. It's at waitforrealpod. Also, another option for contacting us is in our show notes. There's something that says send us a text. You can send us a text message. We can't reply, but we will at least talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, other things, other things, other things. If you want to support us monetarily, which we always love, you can buy us a cup of coffee. The link is in our show notes as well. And find us on YouTube. If you're not watching this on YouTube right now, go to YouTube and find us and look at us
Yes,
and our craziness. And you can see my cat
that's right.
and the chaos that is in our lives, right? I
Yes.
mean, that's about it. Is there anything else I'm forgetting?
I feel like every week you ask me that, and every week we've forgotten something, and I truly don't
Hey,
know what it
we're
is.
doing our best.
We really are. So I'm gonna go with no.
All right, cool. We'll leave it as always.
Go to therapy.
And don't forget to leave the lights on.